Hi, I'm Dr. Linda Mintle. Hey, thanks for listening to the Dr. Linda Mintle Show. Faith radio podcasts are only possible because of your support. Thanks for giving and for sharing with a friend.
Doing life together, reaching out with hope, encouraging one another, each step along the road. You and I can make everything a little better, doing life together.
Well, hi, everyone, and welcome to the Dr. Linda Mintle Show. I'm your host, Dr. Linda Mintle, the relationship doctor, and I'm here along with my co-host, the other Dr. Mintle. Guess who?
Me.
My husband, Norm. Yep. And every weekend.
How did I know?
How did you know? And every weekend we're here and we're doing life together. And as always, we're always happy to have you.
We are.
Have you join us.
We've said this before, but I really wish we could see you.
I know. It's the bad thing about doing radio is that you don't see your audience. Unless, we've talked about putting up a little video camera, but then they would see us. We wouldn't see them.
Right. Doesn't work two ways.
It doesn't work two ways. Yeah.
All right. Our topic today is something that we can all do that will benefit our health and our mental health. But we have to do it to get the benefit.
To your point. The other day at work, we were doing a lot of complaining. We were complaining about problems with administrators not listening to us, too many meetings, coworkers who irritate us,
No.
too little time to get things done. Do I need to go on, Norm?
Nope. It's a familiar list.
It's a familiar list. Gosh, I feel bad even acknowledging that. All right, so we weren't at a loss for things we could complain about, right? But it was preparing me for this show because I had to stop and think about what I was doing and go, wait a minute. I'm doing a show on this.
It's so easy to complain.
Yes, it is.
And fall into this bad habit. And whenever I hear the word complain, I hear my mother's voice that says, stop complaining. You know it happened to the children of Israel.
I know, but your mother was not a complainer.
No.
She was always very positive and she had the joy of the Lord. So she was somebody we could learn from.
Yep.
But, I'm trying to work on it. I really am trying to work on it. I think, maybe this is an excuse, but I think one of the reasons it's so hard for me is that I'm trained to look for problems and deal with problems. So I focus on those. But I don't think that's an excuse. I think I have to be much more intentional about what we're going to do today and talk about.
Being grateful is something most of us need to work on because of how easy it is to focus on the list of bad things that happen every day, that have happened, that we anticipate will happen. We hear bad news regularly on the news, in our social media. We hear it from our families and our coworkers. So today, we're just going to say, stop it. Just stop it. No. We're going to discuss instead the antidote, the many benefits of gratitude.
To have an attitude of gratitude. Where did that phrase come from?
I don't know. I made it up for our kids. It probably came from somewhere else, and I probably heard it. But I used to tell them all the time, you guys need an attitude of gratitude.
Yeah, it's really good. It's a state of thankfulness and appreciation, and it may be one of the most overlooked tools that we can implement daily to improve our quality of life. I mean, it improves the way you feel physically, emotionally, and mentally.
And you're not going to believe this, ladies and gentlemen, but as we discuss those physical, emotional, and spiritual benefits, you're going to be surprised because I was surprised. Gratitude makes such a huge and powerful difference in our life. And by the way, it's the best bargain on the planet. It's free. We don't have to order it online. We don't have to worry about it showing up or not showing up. And we don't have to worry if we can afford it.
That's right. Even if you have Prime, it doesn't matter.
That's right.
You got it at your fingertips.
Prime gratitude.
That's right. All right. So scientists have been studying gratitude for a long time. This is a field that there's a lot of research that has been done. And they have discovered a lot of positives that come along with it, even though, Norm, the Bible's been instructing us to be grateful for thousands of years.
Yeah, no kidding.
But it's good to know that science is catching up, right? So gratitude works because it allows you to celebrate all that God has done for you. It focuses your mind on what you already have rather than something that's absent or needed or wanted.
Right. Like you said, focuses your mind. So let's start with the physical benefits. One of the benefits we probably don't think about is the connection between mind and body and between gratitude and physical health. I don't know that I ever really thought about how gratitude can make me physically healthier. Really?
Yeah, and I wrote a blog on it because I thought a lot of people aren't connecting those dots.
Mm-hmm.
So I do have a blog on the physical benefits from having an attitude of gratitude. So, we know that the mind-body connection is strong. We hear so much about that today in our culture because it's the way we were designed. It's how God made us. So expressions of gratitude just make us feel good. And then they create these positive emotions and feelings of joy and happiness that what happens is it releases the bonding hormone, oxytocin. So you probably heard that. That's a bonding hormone that you have with another person. And this physiological release decreases the release of stress hormones such as cortisol. And because of that, you're decreasing that stress hormone. You're going to feel better and you're going to be healthier. So your body has a physiological reaction to gratitude that makes you feel good.
Wow.
And gratitude and vitality are strongly linked together too. So this means the more grateful you are, the more you are likely to report physical and mental vigor. Would you like some vigor?
Give me some vigor. I want some vigor.
I think it's great. What a great association that it's associated with that.
Right. And another way to feel more invigorated is to get a good night's sleep. You talk about the power and necessity of sleep. So there's a connection between sleep and gratitude. I mean, what, I go to bed smiling?
No. Think of gratitude like a free sleep aid.
Okay.
Okay, just thinking about a few things you were grateful for during the day will induce a relaxation response. And that helps you fall asleep. Now, I've tried this a few times. When I'm really wound up and I've got so many things in my mind, I've tried to focus my mind on what went well during the day. Then I do a little prayer and then I give thanks. And I do notice, Norm, that my body feels more relaxed and it has helped me fall asleep. So it is kind of like a sleep aid that way. And another thing that you have to think about with sleep is that gratitude has been shown to enhance sleep quality. So it reduces the time that that sometimes you have to fall asleep. So you want to be able to fall asleep quickly, right, and get a good night's rest. So gratitude can help reduce that fall asleep time. It can increase your sleep duration, and it can even help with insomnia.
You know, I think I must be a very grateful person.
You sleep well, you really do. So I don't know if it's related to gratitude, but
Well, it is today.
But listen to this. Gratitude is related to 15 to 18% more restorative sleep and 20% less daytime sleep dysfunction. Wow. Like that's a prescription right there.
It sure is.
Yeah.
Doctors ought to be writing these,
Right.
charging you for it.
It's free.
I would have never, ever made that connection.
I know. It's great.
Okay, I read somewhere that gratitude can make a difference in your blood pressure. Is that possible?
Yeah. Yeah. You know that old saying that says an ounce of gratitude is worth a pound of cure?
No, I don't know that.
You never heard that?
Nope.
Oh my gosh, that's a very old, familiar statement.
I must not be very old.
Why am I laughing? Okay. Well, there are studies in which patients with hypertension were instructed to count their blessings once a week, and their systolic blood pressure significantly decreased. That's the one on the top. And not only does gratitude lower your blood pressure, but it also can improve your immune function. So here's the science.
Okay.
Grateful people have 16% lower diastolic blood pressure, it's the bottom, and 10% lower systolic blood pressure compared to those less grateful. So it's impacting your blood pressure right there.
So a lot of people who are on blood pressure medication.
No. We're not going to tell people to go off. No.
Okay.
But we just want to know that you can actually have some type of reduction by just changing your attitude to one of gratitude.
Okay. Now, I'm not sure if this is related, but I was told that dietary fat intake is reduced by as much as 25% in people who keep a gratitude journal.
Yeah, I read that study. So
Really?
I think what it is it may be because gratitude makes you feel less stressed, and then that leads to better eating.
Oh, sure.
It's related to 23% lower levels of stress hormones. So remember I talked about cortisol? You don't want cortisol being released in your body, especially for a long time. It does a lot of damage. So grateful people, including people who are grateful to God, have between 9 to 13% lower levels of hemoglobin A1C. So that's that marker for glucose that controls and plays a significant role in diabetes.
Diabetes, right?
Yeah. And so here's one more health benefit, because these are just cool to
Yeah.
me to find these. And I found this in a study. A daily gratitude practice may help you stay sharp as you age. It can decelerate the effects of neurodegeneration that occurs with increasing age. All right, Norm, we got to start talking gratitude like every day.
I am so grateful right now. We
Yeah.
have 2 minutes left in this segment. I'm so grateful. Okay, listen, here, I want to talk to you about this one. You wrote a book, Living Beyond Pain. Is there a connection between gratitude and pain?
Yeah, it's a bit counterintuitive when we look at this to talk about gratitude, because we're not saying you should talk about being grateful for chronic pain, right? But we can change our pain when we focus on the positives of life. So we're not saying that give thanks for the pain, but we're saying focus on the parts of your life that are working, that are going well, and your pain will actually decrease.
Let's talk about some of the results of gratitude. Keeping a gratitude diary for 2 weeks resulted in a 28% reduction in perceived stress and 16% depression in healthcare practitioners. So the doctors and nurses even
Yeah.
benefited.
Yeah. Yeah. And 2 gratitude activities, just counting your blessings, gratitude letter writing, reduced the risk of depression in at-risk patients by 41% over a 6-month period.
Okay, I'm gonna read one to you and see if you think this works. A researcher said gratitude blocks toxic emotions such as envy, resentment, regret, and depression, which can destroy our happiness. It's impossible to feel envious and grateful at the same time.
I think that would be true of the Bible, right? You can't have both of those things going on. It makes total sense to me. So I want to say one other one, Norm, that
Okay.
that I don't want to get lost here. But there was also a study that showed writing a letter of gratitude reduced feelings of hopelessness in 88% of suicidal inpatients.
Oh my goodness.
You got a lot of people feeling hopeless and suicidal, and it increased levels of optimism in 94% of them. So just doing that alone. So we got a lot of stuff here that we can benefit from if we just change our attitude.
Wow. There is so much more to talk about, and we're going to have to do it after the break. I'm sorry. So, like I said, I'm happy and grateful for this break.
That's right.
And we'll be right back. Stay with us on the Dr. Linda Mintle Show.
Being a generous person can have big benefits for you. Giving your time or your money or even your talent to someone else can obviously help the receiver. But did you know that being generous can roll some positive benefits back on you? This is Dr. Linda Mintle, the relationship doctor, and I'm here to share some of the benefits of generosity. Lower blood pressure, reduced stress, a better mood, and even longer life have been identified as benefits of being generous. That's right, physical and mental improvements for you just because you choose to extend something to someone else. What can you give? Your time, your talent, your support, oh, and yes, your money. You see, hoarding money like Scrooge may seem good for your wallet, but it's not so great for your health. One recent study actually showed that stingy behavior increases stress. So take a minute and just ask, what do I have that I can share? Then be generous and see how good you feel when you share something you have with someone else.
We're so grateful you're here. This is the Dr. Linda Mintle Show. Welcome back. And just a reminder, you can follow her on her social media, X and Instagram, at Dr. Linda Mintle, and on Facebook, Dr. Linda Mintle, author and speaker. That's where you can find her regularly published blogs. You can also listen to our podcast on myfaithradio.com or your favorite podcast platform. Just search Dr. Linda Mintle Podcast, and you're going to find us.
You know, this would be a good one to share, and I'm thinking we need to put out a challenge here. Like, let's all try an attitude of gratitude and see if any of these things affect us. Because we're talking about so many different positive effects from just being grateful. You know, when we before the break, I mentioned suicidality and hopelessness, and gratitude has also been shown, Norm, to reduce the lifetime risk for depression, anxiety, and substance use, because it strengthens those emotions that make us feel more positive, and they help us bounce back from stress.
That makes sense. Wow. It's amazing how many good things there are.
I know.
about this.
It's like, why are we not talking about this more often?
And as angry and mean as our culture seems to be from time to time with each other, what about empathy and being less aggressive? How does gratitude play a role in that?
It does play a role. So gratitude enhances empathy and reduces aggression. So if we could just change that cultural conversation from all the problems into what do we have that's working well. Grateful people are more likely to behave in a pro-social manner, even when others around them are being less kind. There was a study done at the University of Kentucky that looked at that. And what they noticed, Norm, was that study participants who ranked higher in gratitude scales were less likely to retaliate against others, even when they were given negative feedback. They experienced more sensitivity, more empathy towards other people, and they had a decreased desire to even look at revenge. So, boy,
Wow.
somebody ought to do a grant on that and study and see what happens.
You know, it sounds to me like we're talking about a massive and total personality
Yeah.
rehaul. Is that possible?
Well, it shapes the person you are. So when you're looking at your personality and you're starting to be more grateful, you do become less self-centered. You're not looking so much at things to make you happy. You're focusing on this attitude of gratefulness all the time. That makes you feel better about yourself. It makes you happier. There is a neuroscientist who looked at this and said grateful people feel brighter and more alert. He believes that gratitude helps the brain increase dopamine, and we've heard that word before because it's that feel-good hormone that is, has to do with rewards, that when we get the reward pathway in the brain activated. So he also saw a very strong correlation, association with people being more optimistic.
I just don't see anything wrong with gratitude based on what we're saying. We know that showing appreciation makes us feel better about ourselves, as you just said, but what about helping us find new friends and improve our existing relationships?
Well, socially, gratitude, here's the thing, it makes people like you more.
Well, of course. That makes
doesn't
sense.
that make sense?
Right.
And then you have more friendships, and then you're looked at someone as kind, and it helps marriages, and it helps deeper relationships that you have with other people as well. I mean, people just like to be around people who have that positive mindset.
That's so sensible. It just makes so
we
much
don't,
sense.
we don't talk about it, or probably like me, I'm more focused on complaining than I am on doing this.
Well, and you focus on people who have difficulties, so you kind of are on the negative side of people's lives all the time. Here's one that just suddenly popped up. I'll bet an attitude of gratitude can help boost your career.
Well, there have actually been studies on that, and what we've found from those studies is that people that have an attitude of gratitude are better at management. That makes sense because they're focusing on other people and they're praising them and they're saying things. But it also improves their networking and their goal achievements and their decision making and even productivity in an office. So yes, career is definitely influenced by this type of attitude.
Right. And those are all consistent with, I'm sorry, but my PhD is in leadership.
Yes.
And those are consistent attributes of transformational leaders, of servant leaders, of people who care about others, who cherish other people. So your career is going to start taking a huge move forward and upward with an attitude of gratitude.
That's great. That's good.
From a biblical perspective, we know that gratitude is associated with praise because it's all about thanking God for what he's done for us and anticipating more of what he's going to do. That's what praise is all about, thanking him for what he's done. And it strikes me that the Pilgrims got it right when they celebrated the day of Thanksgiving, remember? They acknowledged publicly that God was faithful to them and gave to them abundantly. Thanksgiving comes from a grateful heart to the one who has given us so much and continues to bless us, his children. So let's talk about how to be even more grateful.
So if you want to change from complaining to being grateful, just verbalize some things that are something in your life that you feel grateful for.
That's good.
So read a book about thankfulness, practice thinking of things during the day that may come up, like notice the things that you're grateful for. Even when you're driving around in a car, you can do this. And definitely, I did a lot more of this with our children when they were younger, especially, or even with friends. Just think about, maybe making it a game. Like who can come up with the most grateful things that we have for today, or who can notice what we need to be thankful for the most.
Look out the window and tell me 2 things you're grateful for.
Yeah, just start pointing it out.
Makes sense.
And you can also memorize scriptures that talk about thankfulness, like Psalm 100, and meditate on those scriptures. We all know that one. Enter his gates with
Thanksgiving and his courts with praise.
Right. Right.
Yeah. And you mentioned journaling before. Say more about that.
Well, it's a really simple way to start. And you can begin your day with a journal, you can end your day with a journal. And if you just write down 3 things for which you're grateful for, and you start your day like that. I remember we had somebody from a business consultant come to us and talk to us about some of the problematic organizations and what was going on. And one of the things that he suggested was doing this. And he did this with a very big, well-known company, and it changed the atmosphere of the company just from people journaling 3 things and then sending out a text message to people in the morning.
And that wasn't a Christian
No,
organization.
no, it was just something that they were grateful for. So it didn't have to be big things. I mean, they could be grateful for a warm bed every night, or grateful for good neighbors, or grateful for children who do their best and try to, have a good work ethic. So if you write it down, one of the things that writing does is it reinforces those thoughts in your brain, and you have to be more intentional when you write something down, you get it on paper. So that really helps focus your brain on the positive.
And I just thought of this when you were saying that, because we've talked about this before. When we hear ourselves talk or say things,
Yeah.
there's something reinforcing about that. So after you've written it, read it out loud to yourself.
That's a great idea.
Huh, how about that? So
Yeah.
what about a few more things so that we can practice gratitude?
Yeah, so small things. So one I would like you to practice is when you're in traffic and you have light traffic, or the person in front of you is moving along. You could say to me, wow, this is great. The person in front of me is driving well. Just think what would happen if we changed that conversation in the car.
You expect me to be grateful for bad
For
drivers?
good drivers. No, for good drivers.
find
We're
the good ones.
We're finding the good ones instead of focusing on the bad. Now, that would be a challenge, wouldn't it?
That would be the biggest challenge of my everyday life.
I know, but we could try it.
I could practice it when you're not in the car.
Okay. So I'm kind of saying you could do a gratitude challenge with somebody.
Sure. Good.
Family member, a friend, especially if you want to improve the feelings that you have with your partner, you could do a challenge.
What about volunteering?
Well, I think that one would be good because, you start to see yourself in a different light when you're helping other people. And when you're volunteering and you're helping people, it gets kind of contagious because people thank you and then you feel grateful for them and you feel humbled by the way they're, responding to you. So that's a really good way to do things.
We have completely lost the art of writing letters and sending cards. I mean, we almost get no Christmas cards anymore, that kind
know.
of thing. It's changed. But what if we intentionally wrote, pen and paper, right? Letters to people, especially people who've contributed to our life. And even if you're not a good writer, send it to them. Don't text, but if you have to text, that's better than nothing, I suppose.
It's okay. Yeah, it's okay. And a quick message can boost your mood as well when you do that. I think you can just set a goal and say, I'm going to target this person, or I'm going to target this situation, or I'm going to work on this. Just set a goal for for somebody to really try to change your attitude towards by doing this. And you can use anybody. It can be a boss, it can be a neighbor, it can be a family member. And you could look for people that don't get a lot of gratitude. So I know I try to, every time I work in an organization, try to tell the janitors, I notice what you do and it's so helpful. And I really want you to know that your service doesn't go unnoticed.
Have you noticed lately that culturally people no longer say thank you, they say appreciate you?
Yeah.
I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, that's a good thing to do too. And I think just smiling at people can be a visual reminder, hey, you have reason to be happy. You have reason to have joy.
That's good. Well, we're going to wrap up the program with what the Bible says about gratitude and giving thanks. And there's so much.
I mean, there's so much, and we're saying all of this because we want you to flourish. And so as we end the program, I think you can tell by the way we've been talking about this that gratitude is very powerful. It shapes who you are, returns the blessings that you've had onto other people. And so make gratitude your default and notice how it changes you. So let's close with Psalm 107, 1, 8, and 9. Oh, give thanks unto the Lord, for he is good, for his mercy endures forever. Oh, that men would praise the Lord for his goodness and for his wonderful works to the children of men, for he satisfies the longing soul and fills the hungry with goodness. Well, that's all the time we have today. Many thanks to our producer and my co host, Norm Mintle, who makes the show a conversation, and to our technical producer, Katie Sims Wilson. From all of us here at Faith Radio, hey, we'll talk to you again next weekend, and we're going to be grateful in between.
That's right.
So, in the meantime, remember, we're doing life together, and it's better when you don't have to do it alone.
Doing life together.
Hey, thanks for listening to this conversation from the Dr. Linda Mintle Show. These conversations are available because of your support. Become a supporter now at myfaithradio.com. Please subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss any episodes, and share it with friends so we can live life to the fullest, walk confidently, and find healing and hope.